Hello, I'm Dr. Heidi, creator of Vocab Victor, and welcome to week 10 of the 1,000-Word Challenge. This week we are going to return to the reading of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë. We started reading chapter 1 in week 6, and if you haven't seen that video or want to review the story, you might want to go back and watch that video now before you watch this one. This reading is a little challenging because it was written a long time ago and the writing is a little different from what you're used to. However, it's a very beautiful book and I hope you will stay with it even if you don't understand it 100%. Again, this text has been changed. Some of the hard words have been replaced with easier words to help you understand it. If you remember from last time, Jane is a child in a household with 3 other children, but they aren't very nice to her. The mother sent Jen away, so she went to a seat in a window to read a book, Bewick's History of British Birds, and she's describing some of the pictures she sees in the book. Here we go. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë, Chapter 1, Part 2. I cannot tell what sentiment haunted the quite solitary churchyard, with its inscribed headstone, its gate, its 2 trees, its low horizon, surrounded by a broken wall, and its newly risen moon showing the hour of evening. The 2 ships motionless on a calm sea, I believed to be marine ghosts. The creature pinning down the thief's pack behind him, I passed over quickly. It was an object of terror. Each picture told a story, mysterious often to my undeveloped understanding and imperfect feelings, yet ever deeply interesting. As interesting as the tales Bessie sometimes told on winter evenings, when she chanced to be in a good mood, and when, having brought her ironing table beside the nursery fire, she allowed us to sit about it, and while she worked on Mrs. Reed's lace caps, fed our eager attention with passages of love and adventure taken from old fairy tales and other stories, or, as at a later period I discovered, from the pages of Pamela and Henry, Earl of Moreland. With Bewick on my knee, I was then happy at least in my way. I feared nothing but interruption, and that came too soon. The breakfast-room door opened. "Bo, Madam Mope!" cried the voice of John Reed. Then he paused. He found the room apparently empty. "Where on earth is she?" he continued. "Lizzie, Georgie," calling to his sisters. "Jane is not here. Tell Mamma she has run out into the rain. Bad animal." It is well I drew the curtain, thought I, and I wished desperately that he might not discover my hiding place. Nor would John Reed have found it out himself. He was not quick either of vision or idea, but Eliza just put her head in the door and said at once, "She is in the window seat, to be sure, Jack." And I came out immediately, for I trembled at the idea of being dragged forth by the said Jack. "What do you want?" I asked with awkward embarrassment. "Say, what do you want, Master Reed?" was the answer. "I want you to come here." And seating himself in an armchair, he showed by a gesture that I was to approach and stand before him. John Reed was a schoolboy of 14 years old, 4 years older than I, for I was but 10. Large and stout for his age, with a dull and unhealthy skin, thick lines and a spacious face, heavy limbs and large extremities. He usually ate too much at table, which made him ill, and gave him a dim eye and fat cheeks. He ought now to have been at school, but his mamma had taken him home for a month or 2 on account of his delicate health. Mr. Miles, the master, said he would do very well if he had fewer cakes and sweets sent him from home, but the mother's heart turned from an opinion so harsh, and inclined rather to the more refined idea that John's unhealthy appearance was owing to over-application and, perhaps, to missing home. John had not much affection for his mothers and sisters, and a hatred of me. He bullied and punished me, not 2 or 3 times in a week, nor once or twice in the day, but continually. Every nerve I had feared him, and every piece of flesh on my bones shrank when he came near. There were moments when I was bewildered by the terror he inspired, because I had no appeal whatever against his menaces or his inflictions. The servants did not like to offend their young master by taking my part against him, and Mrs. Reed was blind and deaf on the subject. She never saw him strike or heard him abuse me, though he did both now and then in her very presence, more frequently, however, behind her back. Well, I hope you like this story. Even if you don't understand it completely, I hope you get the main idea and enjoy the beautiful writing. Please let me know what you think in the comments section. Coming up, this week's words. Quite, to a very noticeable degree or extent. Very. Surround, to be on every side of someone or something. Pack, a bag or bundle of objects that is carried on a person's or animal's back. Calm, used to describe weather that is not windy, stormy, etc. Gate, a place in a wall or a fence that has a movable part which can be opened or closed like a door. Terror, a very strong feeling of fear. Ghost, the soul of a dead person thought of as living in an unseen world or as appearing to living people. Passage, a usually short section of a book, poem, speech, etc. Cap, a covering for a person's head that is worn for a special purpose. Tale, a story about imaginary events, an exciting or dramatic story. Adventure, an exciting or dangerous experience. Nursery, this is kind of an old-fashioned word, which means we don't use it now, but in the book it's referring to a room where children sleep, play, and are sometimes taught. Empty, not having any people, not occupied. Approach, to move or become near or nearer to someone or something. Gesture, a movement of your body, especially of your hands and arms, that shows or emphasizes an idea or a feeling. Punish, to treat someone or something severely or roughly. Bully, to frighten, hurt, or threaten a smaller or weaker person. To act like a bully towards someone. Inspire, to cause someone to have a feeling or emotion. Fear, to be afraid of someone or something. Appeal, a serious request for help, support, etc. Wow, if you've been watching this course all year, you've learned 200 words. If you're joining late, that's okay. Everything you do to listen to English and think about the language is good practice. I'll put the text for the reading on the course website so you can download it if you want to study it some more. You can get a free puzzle worksheet with this week's words. Also, download my app, Vocab Victor, to improve your vocabulary every day, and come back next week for 20 more words. Thank you.